So what if you could just type a sentence and watch it instantly become a cinematic scene? Well, a brand new technology is doing exactly that, and it's sending waves of both excitement and, yeah, a little bit of anxiety across the entire creative world. It's called OpenAI's Sora, and it's seriously blurring the lines between what's real and what's simulation.
Now look, that is not just some fancy marketing tagline. OpenAI is signaling a massive ambition here. They're not just trying to make a few cool video clips, they're aiming to build an AI that actually understands and simulates our physical world. You know, everything from the way a wave crashes on the shore to how a shadow falls across a face.
And that right there is the million-dollar question, isn't it? As this technology just explodes onto the scene, is it this revolutionary new tool for creators, or is it a disruptive threat that could upend the entire movie industry? Let's unpack both sides of that argument.
First, let's be clear, Sora didn't just pop up out of nowhere. It's actually the latest heavy hitter in this incredibly fierce race among the tech giants to totally master AI video generation. The goal? To take something that once required a full production crew, crazy expensive gear, and make it possible with nothing more than a simple text prompt.
And believe me, the field is getting crowded fast. Each player is coming at it from a different angle. Sora's making all the headlines for its just stunning realism, but its competitors are not sitting still. You've got Google's VO3 integrating audio right out of the box. Runway's Gen 3 is targeting the pros with deep controls. And Kling AI is laser-focused on nailing complex physics. It's a full-on creative arms race, and every model is trying to carve out its own territory.
All right, so with all that competition, what is the big deal about Sora? Why is it the one grabbing all the headlines? Let's get into the nitty-gritty of what this model can actually do. Okay, so at its core, Sora is a text-to-video model. You give it a description, it spits out a video up to a minute long. Pretty simple, right? The name itself, Sora, is the Japanese word for sky, which was chosen to suggest, limitless creative potential. And honestly, when you see what this thing can do, you'll get why.
This is where it gets really wild. Sora's versatility is what makes it a game changer. It's not just text to video. It can take a still photo and bring it to life. It can take a video you already have and extend it, predicting what happens next. It can even blend two totally different scenes together. And maybe the most important part? It has a basic grasp of object permanence. So if a person walks behind a car, Sora knows they should pop out on the other side. And trust me, that is a huge leap forward for these models.
I know. This all sounds like straight-up magic. But how does it actually work? Well, the secret is that OpenAI basically taught Sora to think about the visual world in the same way a language model like GPT thinks about words. It essentially learned to speak video. Here's the core idea, and it's pretty brilliant. We all know how language models like ChatGPT work, right? They read a sentence by breaking it into smaller pieces called tokens. Well, Sora does the exact same thing, but for video. It slices up a video into a bunch of visual chunks called patches. Just think of these patches as the visual version of words. They're the fundamental building blocks of how it understands a scene. From there, it follows this fascinating process called diffusion. So first, it compresses those patches. Then, and this is the wild part, it just buries them in visual noise, making them look like static on an old TV. The magic happens next. Guided by your text prompt, the AI model works backwards, cleaning up that static, piece by piece, until a clear, coherent image emerges. Finally, it decompresses those clean patches into the final video you see.
This whole powerful method has a name. It's called a diffusion transformer. You can think of it like a hybrid super engine. It combines the incredible pattern recognition of a transformer, that's the engine behind ChatGPT, with the image generation skills of a diffusion model, kind of like DALL-E. It's this combination that's the real key to Sora's power.
Okay, the official demos that OpenAI puts out, they're absolutely breathtaking. Jaw-dropping even. But what happens when regular, everyday users get their hands on this thing? Let's do a little reality check.
So, first off, how do you even get access? Right now, Sora is available through OpenAI's paid subscriptions. For ChatGPT Plus users, that's about $20 a month, which gets you enough credits to generate around 50 videos. And then there's a pro plan for people who are going to be using it a lot more.
But once you're in, you start to see the cracks. Sora still really struggles with complex physics. Like, don't ask it to shatter glass correctly. It's not going to happen. Cause and effect can get all mixed up, and human movements can still look, well, a little unnatural. And yes, just like those early image AIs, it has a serious problem with hands. Sometimes things just appear out of thin air.
This quote from a creator who tested it out just sums it up perfectly. He was trying to create a pretty simple scene for social media, and he found the results just weren't usable. It's a great reminder that there's often a pretty big gap between the cherry-picked demos and what the average person can actually create right now.
All right, let's shift gears. We've talked about the tech, we've talked about the glitches, but now let's talk about the impact. Because Sora is very quickly evolving from a fun, creative toy into something that is sending real shockwaves through Hollywood.
$800 million. Just let that number hang in the air for a second. What on earth could connect this massive figure to an AI tool?
That number, that's the price tag of a massive studio expansion planned by filmmaker Tyler Perry. After he saw what Sora could do, he put the entire project on hold, indefinitely. This isn't theoretical anymore. We're talking about real jobs for set builders, location scouts, VX crews, all now in question because AI is showing it might be able to generate those realistic backdrops on its own.
And that one decision perfectly captures the huge debate that is raging in Hollywood and all across the creative industries. Is Sora just a powerful new tool that's going to help artists, or is it an existential threat to their livelihoods? The opinions could not be more divided.
So on one side, you have the seasoned pros, like this VFX artist. Their view is, look, Sora is amazing for getting you 80% of the way there and getting it done fast. But that final polished 20%, the part that requires real artistry, real control, as they put it, getting that last bit right is like pulling teeth. But then you have the complete opposite take, this huge wave of optimism. This user sees Sora as a democratizing force. Kind of like how YouTube and TikTok empowered anyone with a phone to become a creator, Sora could unleash a whole new generation of filmmakers, telling stories we've never seen before without needing a Hollywood-sized budget.
Okay, so we've seen what Sora is, how it works, its current flaws, and the very real debate that it has ignited. So, where do we go from here? What does all this actually mean for the future of how we tell stories?
Well, one of the biggest elephants in the room is copyright. Sora was trained by analyzing countless hours of video, and a lot of that was copyrighted material just scraped from the web without anyone's permission. The legal battles over who owns this data are really just getting started, and however they turn out will fundamentally shape the future of this tech.
And this brings us to a final and maybe the most crucial thought. This technology is only going to get better, and it's only going to get more accessible. Sooner than we think, the technical hurdles to making a movie could almost completely disappear. And when anyone can generate a blockbuster from their laptop, the value is going to shift away from technical skill and back to the one thing AI can't replicate: a truly great story. What makes an idea unique? What makes a character compelling? That's the question every single creator is going to have to answer.